ToyTractorTimes.com is here at the 2014 National Farm Toy Show with Herman Emkes of Denver, Iowa. And Herman is a true pioneer of our hobby because he was building custom farm toys back in the 1940s and 50s, and it's really amazing what he was accomplishing back then. And we wanted to show some of these exciting pieces that have led to some of the high detail models we enjoy today. So thank you very much for bringing your display out today, Herman, and I'd like to look at a few of the pieces.
Yes, you're welcome. We'll start with this toy tractor right here. It was a 1939 toy tractor, and I had it I was 9, and by the time I was 11 or 12, it was on a chair, and Mom happened to pick it up and didn't accidentally see. It fell on the floor and the front end broke off, and that's why a few years later I put the caster in there. And then I built a power takeoff with a pulley over here out of cardboard and a couple of pulleys over here, and the shaft went down through, and that was my first power takeoff. But it wasn't very efficient because there was too much slippage there. So then I went to the geared model, as you see right here, on the big wheel on the tractor, and then I took the peach crate wood and fashioned gallon cans I used for metal back in 1947 to build this mower. And you see it raises and lowers the sickle bar with this little lever here. And these universal joints are little blocks of wood, and they're still intact. And they're a true universal joint. And did I mention to you that it swings back when you hit a gopher mound?
Very nice.
And then my second project was this corn picker right here. It's a 1930's number 20 John Deere corn picker. And I don't know just how long it took me to build it, but this is whatever I could salvage for wood. This came off of some kind of crate wood. It's quite thin. And then peach crate wood. And Mom helped me with some cloth, and of course I could always find cardboard. And this cardboard was glued on 60 years ago or better, and they're still stuck. So that was some really good glue.
That it is.
And then over here, I put in Tinker Toy sticks for 6 rollers, and all 8 parts, the 2 elevators and the rollers, all move on this power shaft from this tractor. Then the next project, after that, I built a corn elevator on a wagon hoist. And the corn elevator, again, is whatever wood I could find around the house or the farm. And Mom's old egg white beater is the little crank over here that we use to power the elevator. Now, the elevator is failing me a little bit right now. Maybe I'm going to have to skip some of these words. And, shucks.
Go ahead and turn it and I'll try it.
Okay, there we go. You see how I attached it together there?
That is just a ripping piece.
This actually picks up the elevator, but my gearing system has failed me as of yesterday. And so I need to rebuild it and go home and rebuild it. But it actually picks up the wagon so the corn could slide out into the hopper by the elevator. And of course this here was powered in the early days with horses with horsepower, which I did not make. But Mom's old egg white beater, I modified and put a new base on it. And feels bad that I can't raise that thing up on you.
Well, it is very impressed to know that this was made over 60 years ago. Still functions, and you know, I doubt very many people ever were thinking about that back then. That's amazing.
And of course this swivels around here on the chute, right here. It just swivels all the way around, and there's an extension for it.
And this piece also comes
And then this raises up just like drive through with the wagon. And then the next project I built, we'll go back over here, 1951, 19 years old, I built this hay baler. And I've got a problem with it too, and I feel bad about this. I always demonstrated these maybe up to 45 minutes and always worked with it. Now it's my third full day and I'm starting to have failures. But you watch right back here and it kicks out a bale.
That is neat.
And the auger runs, but I need a new rubber band on here and this shaft is slipping on the pulley. So, I'm sorry.
We live in Wisconsin for about 50
There we go. So it's working now again.
That is just
I built
amazing.
this about 45 or 50 hours on building this little machine here.
What's it made of?
And this here, the metal I used come off of an antifreeze can. And those were rectangle shaped gallon containers at that time. And so I just took the flat part of it and built it. And somehow I made the pulleys with whatever I could come up with. I maybe sometimes used a little lathe I had to make the pulleys. And again, I would use a drill and mount the drill in the vise and then put the chisel to it very lightly to get the grooves cut into it. And then I think we're pretty much to the...
You're going to show this and then
Yes.
show your lever on that as well, which that should get.
And so the next project now then, after the next project was this tractor. Did I show you that yet? No.
No, we have not seen that yet.
Okay, that was the next project. I built now one M25 fresh out of the military. And this is my specialty. I'm really proud of this. I spent over 200 hours putting this together. As you see, the pulley runs, the sickle runs, and I can even disengage the sickle while it's running, and then engage it again, just like on the big tractor with a little lever, and so forth. And of course, I have another lever on here that engages the forward and the reverse motion, see?
And what year was this built in?
1957.
Wow.
And so put well over 200 hours of work into it. And then I will lift this up and show you the bottom side. You can see the small, intricate gear work.
That is very impressive.
If you look to the right of that white gear, you'll see a tiny bevel gear, or a spiral gear. Yeah, so.
And you might tell them where you got those gears from.
I found this in a hobby shop, a yard locomotive, and what I saw there, that was that little gear I was just showing you, and there were 2 pair in that yard locomotive. Got to have it. Then I went and bought a new tractor and started to work on it. And I spent well over 200 hours putting that together. And then I built a sickle mower. That's right over here. You want me to pull it away?
Sure.
And, whoops, the power takeoff shaft came off too. Well, I can demonstrate the power takeoff shaft. There it is, right there. And it was made back a real universal joint. I had longer pieces on here that I put in a jig. That's how I managed to solder this together. And then, when it was cooled off, I cut off the length I needed. And that's how I managed to get it done. And then, of course, real simple universal joint right there with just a couple of loops. But I found tubing, square tubing. And again, now I bought metal from the hardware store instead of tin cans. So I made this out of that material.
And what was the last piece that you built, the corn picker over here?
That would be the next piece that I built now. And I built that in 1957. And it has 2 pair of snapping rollers, 2 pair of husking rollers, and the elevator. And you see, I can take this off here, and then you can see it better that way. And they rotate in pairs.
Let me go ahead and hook that up for you.
And
see if it'll work.
yeah, let's get it to rolling, see if we can get that done. And I'll put the points back on again.
There you go.
Now then, why don't you go on the other side to crank it? Because I'll have my hand in it. No, go to the other side.
Oh, okay.
Crank it if
And
you
you're gonna
would.
try and get the conveyor belt to work.
The new ones are just kind
Yes.
of there.
This has been giving me a problem too.
Oh, wow.
That is Walmart.
Let me straighten this a little bit.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, see what happened here.
There, they're
There we
going.
go. Well, it's not. I got problem. There we go.
Part of it is when this gets turned, it seems to be a little bit problematic.
And the gears are filling in here. This gear is slipping on the shaft.
Well,
I'm
it's
happy.
it's an amazing piece, and we really appreciate you
And-
sharing all of this here. It's
And then there was
beautiful work.
one more feature on the full-size picker, and that was this lever here that pulled the wagon. But when you, and this was a position in the cornfield. Tractor wheels are here. Now, when you pull it down the road, the tractor wheel was over here.